Hi, it's Christine again. I wanted to talk with you a little bit more about sleep. On the previous video of positive coping strategies, we did talk about trying to improve your sleep. We talked about trying to stay on the same schedule every day, as close to as we can within 1 or 2 hours, but I also found a list of strategies that might help you. So we talk about most adults need 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night, and most teenagers need more like 9 to 10 hours, and children need more like 10 to 12 hours. Here are some strategies, some techniques that can help you with sleep. So, the American Sleep Academy also has some information out online if you want to look up more ideas, but we did talk about trying to find a routine that can help you get the best sleep. Some of the strategies that are recommended are some vigorous or I guess we call it rigorous exercise, something that's going to get your heart rate up. 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day is what's recommended. Just getting some time to get your body moving. There's a lot of ideas online if you can't get outside or if you can't find something that you enjoy doing. There's some fun scavenger hunts that you can do in your own home just to get you up and moving around. Perhaps you might want to maybe talk with someone else and have them do the same challenge and just see how many of the things on the scavenger hunt that you find together that you could complete together and see who got the most things that they found on the scavenger hunt. We also talked about you could use, there's some online walk and talk videos. You can just walk each day in your own home. Sometimes dancing, sometimes just cleaning, something to get you up and moving around. Of course, if you can get outside and get some sunshine or some fresh air at least, even if it's cool, that's really good for sleep as well. I don't know if you remember, but usually on those first spring days when we first get outside, we are just exhausted. And that's just because we're getting fresh air and it's invigorating. So another strategy that's recommended is avoiding avoiding spiceful foods at night. Sometimes they recommend within 2 to 4 hours of us going to sleep, we shouldn't probably have a whole lot to eat because it can wake you up when your body is digesting your food. Another strategy that's recommended is taking a warm shower or a bath 30 minutes prior to going to bed. We remember oftentimes it works for kids. It's also good for adults as well. It says drink milk 30 minutes prior to going to bed. That can be helpful. Just like a baby, they tend to sleep better when they have something like milk. I don't know what's in milk that helps you go to sleep, but I think it's helpful, even though it says avoid spicy foods or avoid eating. Sometimes warm milk or a warm tea can be helpful. Avoid conflict issues or stressors before going to bed. If you can't control all the stressors in your life, maybe you're going to want to end your day writing a daily gratitude list or things that you're grateful for so you can end the day on a positive note. Another thing can be reading a book or doing an activity that just gets your body toning down or turning down, doing something quietly like reading a book in your bed, even though you're not supposed to do a whole lot of activities in your bed. Like watching TV all day in your bed is going to just cause you to feel like you should stay awake and watch TV. Your brain learns by what you do every day. So if you don't do very many activities except for the ones that are just winding you down for night in bed, your brain is much more likely to prepare for sleep if you do that same routine each night. So reading a book can be helpful. Some people like to do journaling at the end of the day, like we talked about the gratitude list, or else just kind of putting away your thoughts for the day. Sometimes imagery is great too. Sometimes it can help to think about if you do the things that you're worried about. You could make a worry list before you go to bed and just imagine giving it to God or giving it up in prayer, however, whatever works for you to just kind of put away your worries for the night. This list also talks about going to bed about the same time every day within 1 to 2 hours. You can also use muscle relaxation techniques to reduce tension before you go to bed. And there are a lot of videos that you can listen to or free apps that you can listen to that can either be mindful meditation, guided imagery, or progressive muscle relaxations. Those all are helpful to get your body to prepare to just kind of relax before you go to sleep each night. A lot of those apps are free. Some of the apps that I like or that my patients recommend would be I Sleep Easy Free, and that is a 15-minute talk about how to go to sleep at night, how to shut your body down, how to just focus on your breathing and relaxing. Um, Calm app, the free Calm app has free sleep stories, and they're all about guided imagery that just talks to you about a walk in a place that would be relaxing, that's not going to cause you to be so engaged in the story that you'll be afraid to go to sleep. Those will just help you kind of wind your brain down and focus on something that is not going to increase your worries or stressors or your body tensity. It can just help you relax. Imagine relaxing scenes. We talked about that guided imagery. That can be helpful. Like there are lots of free YouTube videos. Avoiding coffees, teas, or colas, or chocolates, or other foods or drinks containing caffeine. A lot of times that's recommended within 4 hours before you go to bed. Sometimes they will say nothing after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Each person is a little bit different in their susceptibility with caffeine. And if you used to be able to do it, doesn't mean you'll still be able to go to sleep after drinking caffeine every night or always. A lot of different variations in your body determine whether that's going to bother you at night or not. But better safe than sorry. If you can avoid those caffeine before bed, that's helpful. Another idea on the list is focus on deep breathing, and we talked about that. Those mindful meditation applications can help you with the deep breathing. The brain research says 1 to 2 minutes of deep breathing can help you increase circulation. I think it's by 80%. Just deep breathing can improve your circulation all over your body. Also, it slows down your body. Deep breathing, belly breathing, breathing all the way into your diaphragm, that can send chemicals in your body just to release serotonin, which is a relaxation chemical. But it also sends the message to your brain to slow down and to kind of avoid going back into those panic attacks. It's helpful to do those things before you go to sleep. Just calm down, slow down your breathing before you go to sleep. It also talks about avoiding alcohol 4 to 5 hours before we go to bed. A lot of people will say that they like using substances before they go to sleep because it helps them wind down. Well, all of the brain research talks about it's only a temporary help. So it might help you fall asleep, but it definitely will interrupt your sleep. So avoiding alcohol or drugs before you go to bed is helpful. Another thing that's recommended is listening to something that helps you turn your brain off. A lot of times people like those white noise machines, sometimes the mindful meditation applications or the YouTube videos have lots of different sounds that you may find relaxing that may help you sleep. Some people like the sound of a fan. Some people like the sound of the waves or rain, whatever it is that works for you, a fireplace. You can find some of those sounds online and they can turn off on their own to help you go to sleep at night, just to kind of help you not pay attention to all the little sounds and not get in your head. Another thing I recommend, I call it cognitive neutral, letting your brain go to something that keeps your attention enough that it will slow down your brain so you won't go back into those anxiety things. Cognitive neutral tasks may be something like counting backwards from 100. And if that's too hard to keep your attention, count backwards from maybe 3 or 4 or 7 or 8, a number that really makes you think hard but it's not going to be so stimulating that it's going to keep you awake. Most people will fall asleep just because we consider it cognitive neutral. It engages your brain. It's kind of like putting it down into low gear of your car. It just helps you slow down and go to sleep. Another strategy that might help is lists. Thinking of a list of things that is not going to be exciting to you, not going to get your brain all worked up, but is just a list of things. Like maybe you're going to think of blessing everybody you can think of by name. And if you naturally notice that your brain will wander while you're doing lists, that's okay. Just like if you try counting or anything else. Naturally, our brains are going to wander, and that's okay. If you notice your brain wanders, just bring it back to the cognitive task you were working on, whether it was a list or whether it was counting or something like that, and just continue to pick up right where you left off, or else start all over. Either way, it will keep your brain in low gear, so it will help you go to sleep at night. Some other strategies that people find helpful is to slow down your breathing. Sometimes a strategy I call 6-4-5. Breathe in for 6 seconds, counting as you breathe in slowly, just count in your head, and then holding it for 4 seconds, and then letting it out with 5 seconds. There are some apps that can help you just by counting that for you or helping you talk about slowing down your breathing, but otherwise you can do it with no electronics at all, just by counting. 6 to breathe in, 4 to hold it, and 5 to let it out. That also, because of the counting, puts your brain kind of like in low gear, so it will slow down to help you go to sleep at night. Some people like to do prayers. If spirituality is your thing, that can be helpful for you. Also, it puts your brain in low gear because you're just thinking about something that is not exciting enough that it's going to keep you up all night. Most prayers tend to be kind of repetitive, especially if you get into the list like blessing other people or giving God a list of things that you're thankful for. Those kinds of lists just keep your brain in low gear, so it will help you slow down your brain to go to sleep at night. There's many other strategies you can try. Talk to friends, talk to family, look online, maybe go to Pinterest and ask for ideas to help with sleep. Figure out what works for you. Just like if I recommend a song to you that you would enjoy, everyone's tastes are different. You've got to figure out what speaks to you or what connects to you. So try lots of different things until you figure out what works for you. And many of you are going to say, nothing works. I've tried everything. Sometimes you will need to talk with your doctor to try medication to help you go to sleep at night. You can talk to the pharmacist if you can't talk to the doctor. If you don't want to leave your house, call into the pharmacy. Ask them what options that they have. They may recommend some over-the-counter sleep medications. I recommend positive strategies with no medication first, and then if you find nothing works, you can try the medication sleep aids to help you. The other thing about going to sleep at night is your brain is like any other muscle of your body. The more you practice using these strategies to go to sleep, the better your brain is going to get at paying attention to what you're doing. You're going to get better at training your brain to slow down. Just like if you would also decide to run a marathon, you would not start running 26 miles a day. You would want to start with walking a certain distance and then jogging a certain distance and then walking and jogging and running. You would work up your ability to train your muscles to get there. Your brain is the same. If you would say to me that none of these strategies work to me because I can't slow my brain down, it may be because you haven't tried it long enough. Just like if I would say I'm going to run a marathon and I can't run 26 miles the first day, I wouldn't give up. I would say I'm going to break it into smaller tasks. Sleep is kind of that same way. Your brain is kind of that same way. If you decide you want to practice using some strategies, give it 5 days or a week to try a strategy to see if your brain does start to get better at slowing down the more you practice one certain strategy. So I hope this is helpful. Sleep is important, so hopefully you can try some of these strategies and hopefully some of them will work for you. Thanks.